as a reality of someone who will bring justice to the earth. That's why we should be organizing conferences every year on the 15th of Sha'ban, where we invite every imam of every school in Islam, and we invite the leaders of other religions and tell them, come sit next to us, let us discuss our Mahdi and let's discuss your Mahdi as well. Because don't think that in Hinduism or Sikhism they don't have a Mahdi. There is a Mahdi at the very core of the Indian subcontinent, a Messiah who will bring justice. It's a Muslim and a non-Muslim issue, and it's to be discussed, number one. Number two, the narration says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the famous hadith says, Man mata walam ya'ruf imam zamana mata mitatin jahiliyyah. The one who dies without knowing the imam of his time dies the death of someone in ignorance. Knowing the imam means what? Means every Thursday night I say, Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-asr wal-zaman, ya Khalifat al-Rahman, ya Sharik al-Quran, ya Ka'bat al-Iman, ya Imami wa Imam al-Insi wal-Jan. That's it. That's all I say. Knowing the imam of your time are those who are involved in daily discussions in their life about the position of the imam in the 21st century. Are those who write journal articles about him. Are those who write articles in newspapers about him. Are those who make documentaries about him. Therefore, on the second level, there is a need to know the imam. On the third level, constantly in the news, we hear two terms: the New World Order and globalization. How many times do you hear these terms? The New World Order, globalization. Both of them indicate a development in the human being where there is so much integration. The world has become a small world, and there is 6 degrees of separation between me and between you. In such an environment where there is a new world order, that world order, is it looking to prepare and pave the way for the imam, or are they looking to destroy the message of the imam? As in, when you read about the New World Order, materialistically, globalization is a reality. But spiritually, there must be another discussion happening. That New World Order, you will find in many cases, have already started to try and demolish the message of the Imam. And the undertones are there in many of the media industry about the undertones to finish this messianic concept. Therefore, you find on all of these levels, what do we see? We see that the discussion of the utopia is a fundamental discussion. I'd like to examine it in a number of stages. Number one, the number 313. Is this number symbolic or is it literal? And what has happened with great 313 armies in the past? Number two, and of the utmost importance, what is the opinion of the school of Ahlul Bayt on this area of the development of the concept of the Imam? Number three, and of the utmost importance, how will the intellects have developed of the human being? Number four, do we have a government similar to the Imam's government that has come in the past? Number five, how about the presence of Satan? Won't that finish a utopia? And number six, and of the utmost importance, what does Rasulullah mean when he states that the world was a world full of injustice and tyranny, and when he comes, he will bring justice and equality? What does he mean in this statement? Is it relative or absolute? Let's discuss this, and we'll try and discuss the topic in depth. The number 313 is an interesting number. Why? Because many times we hear that there will be 313 soldiers with the Imam. Sometimes people raise the question, if there's going to be 313 soldiers, there's 300 million of us right now. And there must be problems there, because there's 313 he's looking for, and there's 300 million of us right now who claim to follow him. On the second level, some people ask the question that, how are 313 going to defeat an opposition? On the third level, people ask the question, what is the significance of the 313? You see, there were two great armies of prophets before us, and the total number of those armies was 313. And those armies both brought victory to the religion through the most devoted of warriors that the religion has ever seen. The first time the number 313 was mentioned in Islamic history was with Talut, the king of the children of Israel. How? In the Quran, we mentioned a few nights earlier that what had happened was that the children of Israel had been defeated by the Philistines. They asked the Prophet Samuel to find them a leader who will bring them victory. The Prophet Samuel asked God, who replied to him by saying that I have appointed a leader. What's his name? His name is Talut. In the English language, his name is Saul. In the Arabic language, his name is Talut. He said, I have appointed him to be your leader. He said, okay, very well. He went and told the children of Israel that this person has been appointed to be your leader. The children of Israel replied, that person? He said, yes. They replied by saying, but we are wealthier than him. Typical. And the idea that concentration on wealth all the time. They looked at him and they said that we are wealthier. I said, how can he lead us? We are a wealthy nation. He is a person not of that strong a wealth background. Yet he's going to lead us, because they were focusing on the criteria of a leader, that the leader should be wealthy. Forget all other characteristics. His main characteristic should be his wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse, Surah 2 verse 247, which indicates what was told to them. قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. Listen to what the verse says. Number one, Allah has chosen him for you. Mark the wording. Notice how even a king of the children of Israel, Allah has to appoint him, not the people. Notice that there is a trend in history that only God appoints his leaders on earth, not the people. That here in this verse, this is a king, not a prophet of God. A king to lead the children of Israel. God says in the verse, Inna Allah astafa alaykum. Allah has chosen him for you. Don't come and tell me you think you can pick your leader. No. I pick my leaders. Notice that the word astafa was also used for Adam, was used for Nuh, was used for Ibrahim, was used for Al Imran. In the verse when Allah said, Inna Allah astafa Adam wa Nuh wa Al Ibrahim wa Al Imran. Allah likewise with this king, he said, Inna Allah astafa alaykum. I have chosen him for you. And I've given him two qualities which are essential for any of my leaders on earth. What are they? زَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. I have increased him, number one, in his knowledge. Why? Because a leader on earth shouldn't be someone who's not knowledgeable. Don't choose a leader who constantly says, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this question. Go refer to that man. He has all the answers. If you take up a position of leadership, you need to be the person of knowledge. Why? Because you represent the religion, the philosophy of the religion, the law of the religion, the economics of the religion. Therefore, you must be able to answer. Allah said, I have increased him in knowledge. Number two, I have increased him in strength. Why? There's no point having a leader who runs away from every battle in Islam. As in, you need a leader who is present at every battle, a leader who's on the front lines, defending the religion. Allah said that this leader is good for you. Why? Because he's strong. Never pick a leader who doesn't have any bravery. Why? Because there is no inspiration taken from such a leader. Pick a leader whose bravery is understood by everybody. The children of Israel accepted Talut as their leader. How many of them joined him to fight Goliath? 80,000 of them. How many followers of Ahlul Bayt in the world today? 300 million. Just keep the correlation. 80,000 of them joined him to go and fight Goliath. On the way, a test was to come to them from Allah. What was it? It was the desert land. And it was a hot journey. And on this hot journey, what happened? They obviously became thirsty. And when they became thirsty, what happened? They obviously wanted to drink from some water. When they wanted to drink from some water, God, through Talut, said what? That your test is that you don't drink the water when you go past it. That's your test. The test of you 80,000 is that the believers from amongst you will not drink from the water. 80,000 are coming, they are thirsty and the water is right in front of them. But they know that God has said for you to be in the special army of Talut, you cannot drink from that water. From 80,000, do you know how many didn't drink? How many? 313. 313 didn't drink. The other 79,987, or however much it is, they all went and they drank. But these people, did they drink? They didn't drink. They were the real soldiers of Talut. Why? Because those 313 were part of 80,000 who claimed that they followed God. But when the crunch came, only 313 turned up. The others who were following all these years,